Hey guys, welcome back to the Jays Fit Down podcast. I'm your host, Jane Gay, and today we're going to be discussing how to build a championship team with a young quarterback who's on their rookie deal. This is something that a lot of teams in the NFL have been able to successfully do, and a lot of teams have not been able to successfully do. Some are still in the process of doing this thing as their quarterbacks are still on those rookie contracts. So we'll discuss how a team should construct their roster to support their young quarterback while they're on their rookie deal and the money and all that stuff, and how it can help them build a championship caliber team. So we'll talk about that today, but make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're on YouTube, Spotify, all podcast platforms. So when you're on the go, whatever, just type us in, Jay's Fit Down Football Podcast. It'll come right up. And, plenty of content there to be listening to, for you guys to be listening to. And we update almost daily, if not every day, every other day. So you have plenty of things to listen to while you're on your way to work, while you're at the gym, while you're working out, all that good stuff. So make sure you check us out there. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below as we talk about as we discuss what's going on in the podcast today. So again, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about that. This is something that I think people need to understand. It's a very important matter in the NFL, and it's something that it's a blueprint for success, basically, because this is a window where you have time, to address positions of need on your team without throwing all your money at the quarterback because he's still on their rookie contract. It's a set amount of money. It's not a lot. It's not going to take up nearly as much of the cap space as it would when you give that quarterback their contract extension, right? So that's the big thing about it, and we'll talk about that today. I want to use the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Philadelphia Eagles, the Buffalo Bills as examples, right? These are three teams that are Super Bowl caliber teams. Of course, only two of them had won Super Bowls within the last 5, 6, 7 years. That being the Chiefs and the Eagles, of course. The Eagles and the Chiefs made Super Bowl 57 this past season. And the Bills, well, we don't know what's going to happen with them. For their sake, hopefully they'll make a Super Bowl soon while Josh Allen is still, on the team. But anyway, so I want to use the Kansas City Chiefs as an example because the way they've constructed their roster over the years has been phenomenal, and they've been able to put great pieces around Patrick Mahomes, and restructure contracts and things, make it to where that he has pieces he needs to succeed as well as the team overall and the coaching staff. So, so you go back to 2017, right? Kansas City drafted Patrick Mahomes. It was the 10th overall pick, I believe, in the 2017 NFL draft. Now, this kid is out of Texas Tech. Nobody's, they think he's going to be good, but we don't know how good he'll be. And he sat most of the year behind Alex Smith. If you guys remember him, he was a starting quarterback for the Chiefs at the time. And Patrick Mahomes basically redshirted his rookie year, and he sat behind Alex Smith, as most young rookie quarterbacks do. And he watched and learned. That was beneficial to him, obviously, because when he became the starter in the following season, he threw 55 touchdowns as a rookie in 2018, just phenomenal. And of course, the Chiefs were going to go to the AFC Championship game, losing to the Patriots, eventual Super Bowl champions. But what I want to focus on, though, is, again, the roster, right? The Chiefs had a very talented roster. The last 4 or 5 years, they've been in the AFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl. And that is because they set up their roster to the point where they don't have to pay Patrick Mahomes all this money yet. At the time we're talking about, with they just came off of AFC Championship, loss. They didn't have to pay him all this money yet. He was still on his rookie deal, so they were able to go and get other pieces like Frank Clark, guys like him, guys like Tyrann Mathieu a year or two later, right? Just adding to that defense, and others as well. I mean, you're able to pay Chris Jones a little bit of money too, and so that's the thing about it, right? And so when you're able to get these other pieces around there, to help your team out, it's huge, because you're able to, again, put money towards your positions of need as opposed to, just throwing all your money at your quarterback, because you don't have to do that while he's on his rookie contract. You don't have to do it. You're not forced to be put in that situation because they're getting paid a set amount of money. And then, once that deal is up, however, then you talk about a contract extension. But if you do your things correctly and do it the right way, your supporting cast is already set up to the point where now all you got to do is pay the quarterback, and then just go out there and compete and try to win a Super Bowl. And that's what the Chiefs have done, and their defense, although it's spotty, they have talented players, but they still been able to go and get quality starting guys to come and help help the team compete. Like last year, getting guys like Justin Reed, and offensively getting guys like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Juju Smith-Schuster, adding to that receiving core. Those are huge. Those were huge moves. Getting guys like Joe Thuney to go on the offensive line, trading for Orlando Brown from the Ravens, right? Those are the types of things. Those are the types of things that you're able to do while your quarterback still is on their rookie deal, and that you're still able to do when you're not paying them as much money, or if they're a player that they, wouldn't mind having their contract kind of spread out or restructured to where you're still able to spend money on positions of need, whether it be offensively, defensively, special teams. So that's the big thing about it, and I think the Chiefs have done a phenomenal job of that. It's brought them 2 Super Bowls within the last 4 years. So, yeah, they've done a great job of doing that there in Kansas City. Now, moving on, to the Philadelphia Eagles here. They're the same with the boat, right? Now, they drafted Jalen Hurts in 2020, and he sat the year behind Carson Wentz, then in the following season, they would go on to make the playoffs. Of course, eventually the 9-8 record, and they lost to the Bucks in the wild card round. And so 15-31 lost to the Bucks, but they realized they still had stalwarts on that team, particularly on the defense. With Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, they went and got Darius Slay as well. And then they realized, okay, we need to add another piece to the secondary. So they went and got James Bradbury the following season from the Giants, adding him, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, trading for him, right? So Howie Roseman has done a great job of building that roster, for the last 4 years or so, last 3 or 4 years, without, breaking the bank, because, again, he didn't have to, because Jalen Hurts was on his rookie contract. So he still had money that he could use to go and put it towards positions of need. That's how he's able to go and get trade for A.J. Brown, from the Titans. That's how you're able to go, and get guys like that, and get quality starting players like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, these types of guys, and you're able to put those quality supporting cast members around your starting quarterback, which is the most important thing, so that they're put in the best position to succeed. Offensively, you still, your offensive line is set. Lane Johnson, Isaac Seumalo, he's left in free agency, but before then, he was a great piece on that offensive line. Jason Kelsey, of course, Landon Dickerson, drafted him. He was a good pickup in the draft. So again, it's just those moves, right? And that's the window. You're a rookie quarterback. Their contract in those 4 years, if 5 is a fifth-year option, it's the perfect time, to go and get pieces to win and compete for a championship. Because again, you have that cap space available to you to go out and get the guys you want, the guys that you feel like will help you contribute to the team, and help you get that Super Bowl. And I think the Eagles have done a great job assembling the roster around Jalen Hurts. Now they've lost a couple of guys in free agency, but now that they signed Jalen to an extension, so they still got some quality pieces on that team. Again, drafting some more Georgia players, Nakobe Dean, adding to the list. They got him all last year, and then you got Noma Smith, and adding that to Jalen Carter already. So now you got and Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter on the defensive line. Your linebackers, Noah Smith and Nakobe Dean. So, just still adding to that team. You're not in cap, you're not in a bad cap situation, bad cap space situation, and that's how it's supposed to be done. A lot of teams like to, put all their money on their quarterback, try to make, like, hey, we want our quarterback to be happy, but really not realizing that, the rookie deal is the time where you go and some teams spend too long trying to see if their quarterback is the guy, right? They spend too long doing that. And when you do that, you're running out of time. And then when that deal is up and your quarterback is due for an extension, and you realize that, oh yeah, we need to pay this guy, we can't let him leave, then you're stuck in a bad situation because you're not able to go and get guys that help, contribute to the cause. Even if you do go pay your quarterback the money that you feel like he deserves, that he feel like he deserves, you're still not in a good situation because you don't have any cap space to go and get areas of need. You're not able to go address your defensive line if that's a problem for you, or your secondary if that's an issue for you, or whatever the case might be, the offensive line, the receivers, whatever the area of need is, you're not able to address it because you're breaking the bank on your quarterback, and that's the issue. That's where a lot of teams fail, and that's why a lot of teams have not been able to be successful because they don't have the right pieces because they don't have the money to get the pieces they have, and they're stuck having to draft and develop, which takes time. And that's valuable time that you could have been using, to go and get guys to help contribute to your Super Bowl effort, in my opinion. And that's why I think it's important that teams, just use your quarterback's rookie deal as the window, as your championship window. That is your prime championship window. It really is, because after that, and you sign your quarterback to your extension, like, you're not going to have the money. You won't have the money. You won't have the space to go and get quality guys because they already have been going to other teams or wherever they have the money that will offer them what they want. NFL, it's all about money. So whatever team is going to throw the most bag, throw the big bag at the players that they want, then that's most likely to be where they're going to end up at, the team that they're going to go to, And so if you're not able to do that, and a very big free agent becomes available, say like, for example, like a guy like Jalen Ramsey, we're just using him for an example. A guy like Jalen Ramsey, if he becomes available, but you broke the bank on your quarterback and you didn't do this process correctly, you're not able to get him, and you say your cornerbacks, your secondary is a problem area, right? You need to address that, but you're not able to go get a guy like that because you don't have the space to do so. So now you're stuck in a bad cap situation. Now you just have to wait it out, and it's a whole big thing. This is why I was so against the Atlanta Falcons trying to get Lamar Jackson, because Desmond Ridder is on his rookie deal. So this is the time where you go, and like the Falcons did this, and they did this correctly. They went and they addressed the positions of need. They addressed the defensive line. You guys like David Onyemata, from the Saints. They went and got the Calais Campbell from the Ravens. Caden Ellis, also from New Orleans, right? And then addressing the secondary, another big problem for the Falcons. You go and you trade for you sign Jesse Bates to a big deal. Then you go and trade for Jeff Okudah from the Detroit Lions. You sign Mike Hughes, right? And you draft Clark Phillips in the NFL draft this year. So those are all great moves to address positions of need, and you do that when your quarterback is on his rookie deal. I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's the truth, and that's how championship teams are built. Maybe not happen right away. It may not happen right away. It may not be instantaneous, but it's you have that time frame to work with, and your quarterback. Usually quarterbacks don't take that long to develop. Depending on how good they are, but you'll see that. What I mean is, it doesn't take that long to get adapted to the NFL. Maybe a year, depending on how much they play. If they get a few reps in here and there, if they start a couple of games, which most rookie quarterbacks will start, depending on the type of season the team is having. But they'll get some action in, maybe 3 or 2 games late in the season, right? Maybe in the middle of the season. So you're still that quarterback still getting valuable time, and then usually by his second year, he's in a good spot. And then but by that point, you should have already been able to, again, if you're doing it the right way, you should have already had your positions of need that you addressed, And so I commend the Eagles on doing that well. They've done a great job with that. The Falcons are slowly in that process of doing that right now with Ridder and addressing areas of need for them. So that's kudos to them. But the Buffalo Bills also another team I want to get on here and talk about with that. Josh Allen. Now he has not received an extension yet. He's still on that deal, so he's still got, I think, a year left or two. But until he's able to, no, because he just got drafted in 2018. So yeah, he should be due for an extension very soon. But the Bills still were able to address positions of need for them. They go out and they get guys They bring him in like Stephon Diggs when traded for him because they know Josh Allen needed a number one receiver. You go and get a guy like Gabe Davis in the draft, also a good receiver that he has so much more higher potential. But they go and get a guy like that. You add your, additions to your defense. Key defensive additions. So that's the big thing for me. And I think the Bills did a great job of that. They're still on that process right now. They just have to get over the hump. They just have offensively things that they have to work on. Josh Allen's got to be a little bit better. He's got to show up. They need a running game. So it's going to be, they have some things they have to kink out. But for the most part, those three teams have done a good job of again, just, using your quarterback's rookie deal to build a championship team, build a contending team. Even if it's not a championship team, it's a contending team, a team that can compete, that's going to be competing in the playoffs in January, and so on and so forth. So that's why I just think it's huge. It's important for a lot of NFL teams out there. Like your rookie quarterback's time, his deal is the perfect time for you to build the roster that he needs around him to win, that you guys need to win as a franchise. That is the time you do it. That's when you address it. So that's why I want to go in here and talk about today on the podcast. But thank you guys for tuning in today for Jay's Fifth Down. Make sure you come back for more content. We'll keep uploading more and more for you guys. Keeping you covered this offseason with everything you need to know. Update you on the DeAndre Hopkins sweepstakes. We'll continue to monitor that as well. So make sure you tune back in for the next episode. And check us out on YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time.